Now this is the final piece of the separating myths from truth presentation, and probably the most important part. You see, up to this point we talked about the traditional investing myths and the three components you need to be a successful investor, and then we built a hypothetical diversified portfolio. All that's okay and well and fine, but in order to achieve true peace of mind, you must know why you're doing what you're doing. And these 20 must-answer questions will guide you through that process. But this also is kind of a temperature gauge to see where you rank, to see where you are. So follow along with me on this quiz, which is on page 17 of your workbook. And these are yes or no questions. So the only way you can answer yes is if you are 100% correct. If you're 98% sure that you know the correct answer, then it has to be a no. So in order for you to mark yes on these questions, you must be 100% sure of your answer. So the first question is, have you discovered your true purpose for money, that which is more important than money itself? Interesting question. Have you discovered your true purpose for money, that which is more important than money itself? Yes or no? Question number 2. This is pretty simple. Are you invested in the market? Typically, if you're in a 401k, you probably have money in the market. But you should be able to answer this question pretty simply. Question number 3. Do you know how markets work? We talked a little bit about this in this presentation, but didn't go into much detail. Do you know how markets work? Question number 4. Have you defined your investment philosophy? Now, people have philosophies of relationships, religion, how to raise children, and so on and so forth. Do you have an actual investment philosophy? And if you don't know what it is, obviously, the answer is no. Question number 5. Have you identified your personal risk tolerance? And more importantly, do you have a number that you can put on that? Have you identified your personal risk tolerance? Yes or no? Question number 6. Do you know how to measure diversification in your portfolio? Do you know how to measure diversification in your portfolio? Yes or no? Question number 7. Do you consistently and predictably achieve market returns? Now, if you don't know what market returns are, obviously the answer to this is no. Have you measured the total amount of commissions and costs in your portfolio? Do you even know how to measure the total amount of commissions and costs in your portfolio? Yes or no? Question number 9. Do you know where you fall on the Markowitz efficient frontier? About 3 or 4 videos back we went over this, and I'm going to assume that most people had never seen it before, so more than likely, if you don't know what it is, you don't know where you fall on it, so that would be a no. Question number 10. When it comes to building your investment portfolio, do you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing and why? When it comes to building your investment portfolio, do you know exactly what you're doing and why? Question number 11. This is pretty simple. Are you working with a financial coach versus a financial planner? If you answered the previous questions correctly, you're working with a financial coach. If not, you're probably working with a financial planner, or you're doing it yourself. Question number 12. Do you have a customized lifelong game plan to guide all of your investing and spending decisions? Yes or no? Again, number 13, do you have an investment policy statement? And if you don't know what an investment policy statement is, there should be a lot of no's. 14, have you devised a clear-cut method for measuring the success or failure of your portfolio? And going back to the market returns question, if you don't know what market returns are, more than likely it's very difficult to measure the success or failure of your portfolio. So, yes or no? Number 15, do you fully understand the implications and applications of diversification in your portfolio? Question number 16, do you have a system to measure portfolio volatility? And again, do you know what that number is? If you don't have a system, you don't know what the number is. Question number 17. Are you aware of the incentives brokerage firms and the financial community have when selling commission-based products? Going back a few videos, we talked about the bid-ask spread. Not very many people know what the bid-ask spread is, so more than likely you don't know how to measure the costs or aren't aware of the incentives brokerage firms and the financial community have when selling commission-based products. This should be easy, I would think. Question number 18. Do you know the 3 warning signs that you are gambling and speculating with your money versus prudently investing it? We talked about this earlier. Do you know the 3 warning signs that you are gambling and speculating with your money versus prudently investing it? Number 19, can you identify the cultural messages and personal mindsets about money that destroy your peace of mind? And the last question. This is probably the most important question out of these 20 questions. Are you ready to shift your personal experience of money and investing from a scarcity mode to an abundance mode? Scarcity mode is don't have enough, throwing money at different things, don't know exactly what I'm doing. And abundance mode is I know what I'm doing and I have enough and I will have enough. This was a difficult question to me to answer the first time that I ever heard it. So yes or no, are you ready to shift your personal experience of money and investing from a scarcity mode to an abundance mode? Now you can score yourself. You can see in your workbook there's a scoring chart. When I first took this test 5 years ago, after 15 years in the industry, I was only able to get, I think, 4 of these questions right. And I've been through the initial stage of this education process a couple times. I went through it recently with a number of brand new advisors. And it was interesting to me because I now can answer all 20 questions. But some of those new advisors were answering 3 and 4 of the questions, even though they may have been in the industry 30 years. So grade yourself and see where you stand. Now the next step is, down below is a form, and I need you to fill out your name and then your address, even if you're a client of mine already. Your name and your address and your telephone number, preferably your cell phone number, because I have some educational events that are going to be coming up in the near future, along with your email address. And check the box yes, and that's very important. Why? Because I have a couple things to give you. And 9 out of 10 people that I give this to feel like that this information was speaking directly to them. The first one is an audio called The 7 Deadly Investor Traps That Destroy Your Wealth and the 3 Power Strategies to Fix Your Portfolio Fast. And the next one is the Investor Awareness Guide. So check yes, and I'll give you these 2 pieces of material. And I'll also schedule a time for our initial consultation. And what's going to happen during that time, I'm going to get you started on the process of being able to answer 10 out of 20 of these questions, which is very important to start gaining peace of mind about what you're doing concerning your investments. So put your name, your physical mailing address, your cell phone number, and your email address, and check the box yes, and I'll get you your information, and then I'll be able to get in contact with you to schedule the initial consultation to get you started on the process of gaining true peace of mind about your money by helping you answer at least the first 10 out of 20 of these questions.